Welcome to the Post Cafe. It is where artists comes alive. Spoken word brings forth the inner creation of hidden treasures, expressing tones of lyrics felt within the soul, a vibration that brings stories untold. This platform represents artists of all backgrounds, be it writers, singers, spoken word, artistic expressions and painting, literature, poetry, and a journey through life. Mystery seeks to bring new ideas and opportunities through the mind at all levels. Wherefore my time leaving tomorrow on the wings of yesterday, with birds flying higher than the mystery of dreams never knew. Why do mellow sounds ring silently without ever leaving memories of my lonely blues? Walk by the calls of nature and sing in harmony while praying with the love of the skies and dancing with the stars like a feminine ballerina, gazing across the stage in her soft-toed ballerina shoes. Welcome to the Artists of Poetry Cafe show, Poetically Speaking, hosted by Terry Benjamin and Ron C. McCray. As delighted as we are, we can't wait to engulf a new wave of presenting this platform to our audience. So, sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Now, let's get started.
Let's get started. Again, this is Sunday, but it's also Mother's Day. So first of all, we're going to start by saying Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, also to all the women who may not be mothers but have been caring for children. You know, we have that out there. And so we want to give you your flowers today, give you your props, give you a shout out. Also, it's May, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Okay, again, we want to keep the mind, body, and the spirit together, but I'm going to expand on that. Okay, because that's one way to look at it. That's holistic, but I want to expand that. Today's agenda is optimum wellness. Okay, how can we take care of ourselves to the utmost, to the optimum? And we're going to give you some things to think about on that. Also, we have the quote of the day. And the quote of the day is from Albert Einstein. And Dr. Einstein says, I must be willing to give up what I am in order to become what I will be. Okay, sometimes you have to leave things behind to move ahead. And so with all that in mind, we come to you today, and again, in the spirit of inspiration. And when we say inspiration, well, we're saying that we're in spirit, okay? So we're in spirit. And so with that in mind, we begin, as always, with Ron's poetry. So, my brother, I know because it's a special day, you have some special stuff for us, and I can't wait to hear it.
You know, and you're right. First of all, again, today is Mother's Day. But let me say this, too. Yes, we celebrate today as Mother's Day, but I want each and every single person, male or female, at the sound of our voice, every day is a mother. Is Mother's Day. We celebrate because it was through the mother's wombs that we came through this earth to see the marvelous light from the Creator's hands who sculpted us. So again, and we ain't getting into various environments or the situation, but every mother, we came through regardless of what, but every mother, every day is Mother's Day. So again, we want to give this shout out. So we will continue to move forward. And yes, we have some good stuff today, and we always have some good stuff for you all the time. Yes. So don't be surprised, but be surprised. When we surprise you with surprises.
That's right.
I'd just like to start with this one first, and then we'll continue to move forward. Yes. And even the topic of the day, which is so true, you know, when you think about it. And this month, as we presented to you, is mental health and wellness. Mental health and wellness. And we ain't talking about those who seriously have a situation, but we're talking about those who may not or appear to be. But in the same token, help cultivate the ones who are dealing with something that's beyond our control. Because there's nothing greater than knowing that you have shared some love with somebody. So there's one piece of poetry I like to read, and this is from a book that was a friend of mine gave to me years ago. And the title of this is Lessons in Love. Lessons in Love.
I like that.
By Linda Andre Wheeler. EDD, education, a doctorate in education. And so this is so important because, again, all the time. So I just like to read this first one here. Love is just friendship on fire. There's nothing greater than have a great friend.
That's right.
To love, you must first learn how to be a friend. And this is what we talk about, how to be friends. How can we just
friends
be
first,
cordial
friends
and
first.
friends first, whatnot. You'd be surprised the joy that comes out. And that's what kids look for. And so, again, I'll just read this last one here, the next one. Be loyal to those who love you. And matter of fact, I want to go back. I got to hit it myself, so I apologize. A friend is someone who accepts and loves you unconditionally, despite your frailties, faults, failures, and flaws. Love is that great spiritual fire between two friends that can keep burning throughout their lives to bring warmth and security. However, it is a fire that must be tended with great care. Do not let the flame burn out. Consistent attention and caring must be given to it so the fire will keep burning. And matter of fact, last week, a couple of days ago, we talked about our guest.
Yes.
One of her author's book, Fire Shut Up in My Bones.
Yes, matter of fact,
exactly.
I'm still reading this book for the third time. This is a beautiful, beautiful book. Fire in My Bones by Ali Marshall Rico.
And that's what's important. That fire, friendship, love. A lot of people talking about love, but you have to understand what love is. Love is to bring a joy in somebody who's sad and happy. I don't care if it's a child, because again, when you look around in your community, in the school system, in the home, somebody's hurting, and only thing they want is just a little bit of love, just a hug.
That's right. Yeah. And again, I speak directly to our community out there. I don't know who you are. Many I have not met through. Just through maybe Facebook and that kind of thing. But one thing I do know about everyone out there, especially if you have some years on you, okay? When you were brought into this world, there was someone who nurtured you, who got you through that infancy, so that you could become a child, a teenager, a young adult, an adult. So again, there's always somebody. There was someone who did that. You can call them mother, you can call them father, whatever. But there was someone who was there for you, and we should never take that for granted. I don't care what conflict you might have with your brothers, sisters, mother and fathers, whatever. Get that straightened out, because we need each other, and we need each other even more so now because we're going through some difficult times. And so again, our community, we're here for you. And you are there for us, and it's like a circle. And again, I love being in that circle. I love being with you on Thursday and Sunday, and and it goes beyond that, because your comments, I review those Monday through whatever, okay? Because again, it's there for us. So again, I thank you. I thank you for being with us today and every day, that you take some time out of your schedule to be with us and to listen to what we have to offer to you. So I thank you, community, and keep up the good work.
And you're absolutely correct, because again, keep in mind, regardless of the cultural or the ethnic background, look to your neighbor and see somebody sitting on that porch watching. Just say hello, smile, because again, even your neighbor, because like you said, somebody watched over us, regardless whether it was a stranger. But somebody cared for you. Somebody cared for us. And it was because of them that really kept a lot of us out of trouble.
That's right. That's right.
No matter how you look at it. Everybody's not out there to try to hurt you, but look at the ones who's trying to be loving to you and trying to help and look after your kids, that some of us may not be watching your own kids now. Let's keep it real. But
no, we got to keep it real,
That's
because
right.
again, just because a mother has a child or a father makes a baby, that doesn't make them a mother or father.
Right.
They may not be able to fulfill that responsibility. And again, and sometimes, you may be in the foster care and that kind of thing. But the point is that, we need each other. We need each other in a very, very real way. And I think the pandemic sort of proved that, when we were isolated, when we couldn't get together as we can now with the freedom that we have now. I know I miss those social activities and whatnot. And so it's coming back. But we want to keep that going, That's a beautiful book, and as a matter of fact, it's not only a beautiful book in terms of the poetry, but it's also a beautiful book in the presentation. And one of the things that I try to do in everything I do, I get a proper presentation, because again, that's showing love as well, how you present yourself.
And let me read this other one, titled, Be Loyal to Those Who Love You. And understand, to be loyal to those who love you, but understand the person that you're loving and being loyal to really have an open and emotional and spiritual and motivational heart to render back to. See, something positive that's cultivated will also sprout something positive, like the fruits of our labor. And that's what's important. That's right. So here, you are truly blessed when someone loves you. A person has picked you from the mass of people in the world to love. Regard that love as sacred, as take care of it as you would a treasure that you have found in life. Some people go through life not knowing the magnificence of love because they fail to see the value of love itself.
That's a beautiful thought. Beautiful thought, because again, love is precious, and it never gets old. Because I don't care how old you are, we want love, we want affection, we just want people to notice us, and that's why I was saying, Ron, before, like I said, when I was talking about our holistic approach to our program and to what we share, and I was saying that we want to develop your mind, your body, and your spirit. But today, community, I want to expand that real quickly here, okay? And so now when I speak about our holistic approach to what we do, I'm expanding it, okay? So again, I'm going beyond mind, body, and spirit, and here's where I'm going, okay? This is a new holistic approach, and this encompasses the mental, okay? The mental, the physical, the emotional, the biochemical, and the spiritual. Okay, the mental. It is Mental Health Awareness Month. What can you do to improve your mental? Because again, we need to have that mental to work through our problems and our challenges. Physical. You got to do something. Walk, run, lift weights or whatever. You have to keep the mind and the body go together. You got to keep that going, Emotional. There's IQ, and then there's a EQ. The IQ is your mental intelligence, but your EQ is your emotional intelligence. I always say the IQ will get you the job, but the emotional intelligence will help you keep that job. When things go wrong on the job, do you try to work it out, or do you just fly off the handle? Okay, so the emotional. And then there's the biochemical. We have to understand what we put in our body is changing our chemistry. If I have any longevity, if I have any strength and power within my body, it's because what I take into my body, I'm looking at it very carefully, drinking the water, not the soda, and not the orange juice, because that's full of sugar, Get the coconut water, get something that's a little different, you got to change things. And the last thing is the spiritual, okay? I said, if you see the Bible as literature, fine. If you see it as a spiritual book, that's fine, but it has so much wisdom, whether you look at a spiritual, whether you look at it in a secular sense or in a spiritual sense. So again, when we talk about our holistic approach, we're talking about the mental, the physical, the emotional, and the biochemical, and the spiritual. So when I say this, we have this holistic approach. These are the things we're talking about. And again, what you take into your body is your diet. But you know what? What you read, what you look at, is part of your diet as well. So be careful what you put into your mind. Be careful what you read. Be careful what you watch, because that's going to affect you in some very, very real ways. And that's why, you have a beautiful book here about love, Get that into your spirit. Get that into your soul.
And just in short, as we continue, to, again, Mother's Day, and we like to dedicate
Yes.
our position, our tone, our gratitude, our love towards every single mother, starting with our own family. My
That's right.
oldest daughter, my daughters, my granddaughter, grandkids,
That's right.
grandparents, aunts, everyone at the sound of my voice that I know, far and wide.
Yes.
Near and
Yes.
far, no matter how you look at it,
Yes.
friends and people we met along the way, to every, as you said earlier, to every single mother, auntie, somebody who cared for you, those who are expecting.
Yes. Yes.
We want to say personally, thank you, because the treasure of life is through
Thank
the
you.
nature and
Thank you.
nurturing of a mother.
you.
That's why they call her Mother Nature.
That's right.
Without Mother Nature, where would you be?
That's right. We'd be in bad shape. But again, mother is the woman who, she nurtured you in her womb, and when you came out, she nurtured you more. She helped you. I mean, your mother was your first teacher, and so again, don't take that for granted. Okay, so I want to give a shout out to my mother, Carol May Benjamin. Call her Callie May. Callie May, I love you, and again, I'm going to do whatever I can do to take care of you like you took care of me. Okay, and I want everybody in the community to say that even if your mother is no longer around, you send a prayer up to her, because she was the one who brought you into this world, and that's a big job, big responsibility.
I have something I would like to read, and again, this is to all mothers.
Yes.
But I also, in a sense, like to dedicate part of this to one of the authors. Okay, and I'll show you her book in a second. Who she's not able to attend, but a representative, unfortunately, will not be able to attend. But nevertheless, we will have this representative at another date and time that will continue with this session.
Yeah.
But I like to read this, and I'll show you the author's name. Okay, so this here also represent all mothers, as we just expressed.
Yes. Yeah.
Mother's Day. Mother's Day is a day that one cannot fully express. Words are often babbling and are always sincere about their true meanings. Why I love you, Mom. From the hands of our Creator, through the shadows of your wombs, brought forth came I, born with the affection words cannot express. You love me. Love me despite my thornery attitude. You disciplined me, scolded me, raised me, dressed me, and fed me. I never considered where or why or when you sheltered me from storms and the things you endured. You were always there. Words of love are always misunderstood and taken for granted. Their proper foundation, meaning, and all that it took to do what I cannot imagine what you went through or going through. Time passes, moving every microsecond, yet still I cannot express my deep affection for you, Mom. In the midnight hour, tears fell, yearning, moaning, and crying in pain. Yet in the morning hour, things always seem the same. For it could never be fully explained. It is because you loved me even when I acted insane. You cared for me to make me who I am today. On this Mother's Day, I will continue to show my deep affection beyond words to say why I love you. For this is Mother's Day. Tomorrow is not promised. So I have this moment as I gaze at you and think about all you have done. My words tremble to carry out what you have prayed for during those midnight hours. This is why the words of love could never fully be understood, and how deep it goes until the most precious days are done and gone. I must carry on Mother's Day with deep contrition, sing with gratitude, and praise Him each day. The legacy of remembrance is Mom.
Yes. Thank you. Give you a real hand clap, Again, mothers, okay, mothers, we love you, we cherish you, and also we want you to stay healthy. That's important as well.
And here's the author, one of the authors who is not here with us, but she's here today, not here in the studio. But the author is Dorothy Judith Horn Johnson. And this is her book of poetry, okay? Tapestry. You know, it is dedicated to my beloved sister Jackie. A family member will be here to continue, and we have a surprise and a presentation for her. And you will also continue to learn and know and understand that our guest who will be here later on, that ties into each and everything that we talk about. You know, and that's what's important. So everybody that's here, we want you to also be prepared and be tuned in when that time comes. But it's important because, again, you know, we just want to share everything that we learned, that you bring to us, that we bring to you, that we also learn to cultivate today what love is.
And that's so important. And like I said before, you know, again, you know, it's mind, body, and spirit, but it's beyond that. You know, again, it's mental, physical, emotional, biochemical, and spiritual. To that end, I want to present, and as part of our mind, body, and books segment, this book entitled Eat Your Age, Feel Younger, Be Happier, Live Longer. And this is a book by Dr. Ian K. Smith. And he, you know, and I love the thing I love about him, Ron. He is not just he's not only a medical doctor, but he's also a novelist. And he writes mysteries, you know. So again, it's just to show our versatility. And he gives us some ingredients for a recipe of glorious aging. And I'm not going to read all of them, but I want to focus on one part, okay? And I want to focus on number one, because he gives us 15 things, ingredients for glorious aging. And the number one thing, and I think this is most important, Ron, is number one, find purpose. And he says here, living just to be living and doing just to be doing might get you through the day or week or month, but it won't serve you in the long run. Having purpose, whatever that might mean to you, gives you focus and creates intentionality in what you do. Having a definable why is something that many people who live long and well have in common. There's no fixed list of what whys are most effective. There is something that's organic and you must own. Ask yourself why you're getting out of bed every morning. And if your answer is not one of fulfillment or that generates a sense of usefulness, then it's time to think hard about your direction. Researchers have long expounded that purposeful living, whether it be increasing social activity, reducing stress, or treating depression, can be the spark for good health and longevity. Find what it is in your life that makes it all worth it and cling to it tightly, holding it as your North Star. And he goes here, he tells us these are ways to live a purposeful life. Discuss your passions and pursue them. Live in the present and experience moments fully. Have and express gratitude for even the small things. Identify your values and try to follow them. Form meaningful relationships. Empower others. Set goals that help define your path and contribute to and support your community. Okay? These are ways to live a purposeful life. A life of purpose is what we're advocating here. And as we go through our program, we're going to touch on that. But I want to leave you with this, okay? This book here is a book that everybody should have in their library because it really goes through the decades, you know, what you'll be doing at your 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and beyond. We need this book because this is a book that you don't sit down and read it from one page to another. You just really take a little portion of it and you digest that because, again, this is part of your diet, okay? Good books, good thoughts, good ideas, okay? And again, find what is your why, what is your purpose for living. And again, and that's why we bring this to you. We bring people to you who really have inspired us because they fed our spirit, right?
You know, it's interesting how everything we present to you, we may learn something in the moment of the spirit that we may not have no clue that we're going to connect with. But it shows you how the spirit connects. So I want to say this because that book, Eat Your Age, right?
age.
But to eat your age, you must cultivate who you are.
That's right. That's right.
Cultivate who you are so you can eat your age. So which means that as you each day you gracefully, pleasantly embellish that joy that's within inside of you. So when you reach that level of those who have already exceeded us in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and 100 or beyond,
Yeah.
it's a blessing.
That's it.
Because they cultivated their age, they ate it, they took care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how you look at it, there's no reason why you should fall slump to toxicity because of the bad attitude, the bad this, and blaming everybody else instead of cultivating yourself.
Yeah, and I just want to read from the back of the book here. It says here, want to feel your best no matter what the decade? In Eat Your Age, best-selling Dr. Ian K. Smith reveals exactly how you can slow down the aging process with the right foods, movement, and habits tailored for every stage of life, whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or beyond. This book arms you with practical, science-based advice to help you live longer and feel great. Getting older is inevitable, but feeling older doesn't have to be. While our joints may creak and our muscles lose some strength over the years, there are simple changes you can make to stay sharp, active, and healthy as the decade passes. Dr. Smith's easy-to-follow plan shows you the power of food as medicine, what to eat at every age to fend off illness, boost energy, and stay in top form, packed with smart tips, fitness tests, and tailored advice. Eat Your Age covers everything from the benefits of omega-3s and B vitamins to how to get a better night's sleep and stay fit for life. It's never too early or too late to start. With this book, you'll discover how to function at your best and find joy in every decade. And I highly recommend this book. And this book is for everybody in your family, okay? So again, you want to feel your best no matter what age you are, read this book. Take this book into your mind and your body, into your spirit.
And he's been around a long time.
Oh, yeah,
I've watched
yeah.
him for years on TV. So
a lot of videos, you know.
Yeah, he's been promoting for a long time, excuse me,
Yeah.
you know, so often. So that's so true. I mean, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah. And the thing I like about him, Ron, is that, you know, this is a nonfiction book.
Right.
Okay, but he also writes fiction. He writes a mystery series. So again, he shows his creativity is not limited, you know. And I want to go into this portion of the program, which we call Music is Lit. And of course, because this is Mother's Day, there are some songs that we have to recite. And I want to go into this because we got some other things we want to do. But I just want to share this with you. You heard these songs before, and I want you to think about what I'm reading and think about the music and think about how it's sung. And so again, and I call this, Ron, the Mother's Day anthem, okay? You know, and the church I attend, they actually play this. They play this in church before we begin our service. And it's called I'll Always Love My Mama by the Intruders. And this was actually released in 1973. And it reads, I'll always love my mama. She's my favorite girl. I'll always love my mama. She brought me in this world. Sometimes I feel so bad when I think of all the things I used to do. How mama used to clean somebody else's house just to buy me a new pair of shoes. I never understood how mama could make it through the week when she never had a good night's sleep. Talking about mama. She's one of a kind. Talking about mama. You got yours and I've got mine. Talking about mama. Oh, hey mama. Hey mama, my heart belongs to you. I'll always love my mama. She's my favorite girl. You only get one. You only get one, yeah. I always love my mama. She brought me in this world. A mother's love is so special. It's something that you just can't describe. It's the kind of love that stays with you until the day you die. She taught me little things like say hello and thank you, please, while scrubbing those floors on her bending knees. Talking about mama. She's one of a kind. You got yours and I got mine. Talking about mama. Oh, hey, mama. Hey, mama, my heart belongs to you. I'll always love my mama. She's my favorite girl. I'll always love my mama. She brought me in this world. I'll always love my mama. Oh, mama, dear mama, my heart belongs to you. I'll always love my mama, and you always love your mama because she deserves that. And again, we talk about mothers, you know. But again, I don't know about you, Ron, but the greatest love I got was from my grandmother. And my grandmother, you know, she loved me. There was no condition. You know, she loved me because I was her little terrier, her little prince, you know. And so, and grandma saved me a lot of beatings, you know, because my mother wanted to tear me up. And my grandma said, Callie Mae, come on, you know, give him another chance. And I'm behind my grandma. I said, please, tell her, give me 2 more chances. You know, so my grandma. And so this song means a lot to me and probably to you as well, because again, grandma. And this song was released in 1971. And this is from a man who, they call him a singer, but I call him a poet. I call him the people's poet, you know, not Curtis Mayfield. This is Bill Withers. And this is from an album entitled Just As I Am. And I love this song, and I love the way he presented it. And it's called Grandma's Hands. Grandma's hands clapped in church on Sunday morning. Grandma's hands played a tambourine so well. Grandma's hands used to issue out a warning. She'd say, Billy, don't you run so fast. Might be snakes in that grass. Grandma's hands. Grandma's hands soothe a local unwed mother. Grandma's hands used to ache sometimes and swell. Grandma's hands used to lift her face and tell her, she said, baby, Grandma understands that you really love that man, but put yourself in Jesus' hands. Grandma's hands. Grandma's hands used to hand me a piece of candy. Grandma's hands picked me up each time I fell. Grandma's hands, boy, they really came in handy. She said, Maddie, don't you whip that boy. What you want to spank him for? He didn't drop no apple core, but I don't have Grandma's hands anymore. If I get to heaven, I'll look for Grandma's hands. Grandma's hand. And my grandma was Florence, you know. They call her Florence, you know. And again, and she was beautiful. And the last song that I want to read, and this is you know, a song that's one of my favorites because, again, this is dedicated to young mothers. This is dedicated to women who didn't have any biological children, but they raise maybe children in foster care. Now that's something that's very, very important. So, again, this is from the Spinners, and this was actually released in 1974. And again, like I always try to tell a story with the songs that I read, you know, whether it be I'll Always Love My Mother to Grandma's Hands, to Sadie. And this is from the Spinners. And this is from an LP entitled New and Improved, okay? And this is Sadie. And it reads, and again, and this is, I just want to make a note here. Felipe Wynn was the lead singer on this song. And the thing with Felipe is that he would improvise a lot of lyrics. And so this is, the version I'm going to read is really from Felipe Wynn, so it might be a little different from what you're used to, only because he was ad-libbing all through this particular song. And you understand, back in the day, a radio song had to be like 2 to 3 minutes, okay? Because anything longer than that was just too long. And so this is, and so think of Felipe Wynn as I recite this. And he says here, in the world today, it's a rare occasion to be able to see young mothers like the ones that were around when I grew up. But they live on in memory to quite a few of us. And this song is dedicated to those who cherish that memory. Early one Sunday morning, breakfast was on the table. There was no time to eat. She said to me, boy, hurry to Sunday school. Filled with her love of glory, we learned the holy story. She'll always have her dreams despite the thing this troubled world can bring. Oh, Sadie, don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? Place no one above you, sweet Sadie. Well, 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 living in the past. Sometimes it seems so funny, but no money will turn your life around. Sweeter than cotton candy, stronger than Papa's old brandy, always that needed smile. Once in a while, she would break down and cry. Sometimes she'd be so happy, just being with us and Daddy, standing the worst of times, breaking the bonds with just a simple song. Oh, Sadie, Sadie Mae, don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? She loves us all in a special way. Place no one above you, sweet Sadie, living in the past. Oh, she's never sinning. In love, she's always winning. My. Don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? Place no one above you, sweet Sadie. I just can't forget how you gave me love. Love, oh Lord, living in the past. If there's a heaven above, I know she's teaching angels how to love. It's a mean world without you. Don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? All the love you showed, placed the one above you, sweet Sadie. Or could anybody ever doubt your lovely word living in the past? Ain't it funny that in the end it's not money, it's the love that you gave us all. Why? Why do the good leave so soon? Don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? Oh, I don't know. Living in the past and through the past, they say, love my songs. Oh Lord, I'm all alone. I miss you so much. Well, don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? Love you, Mama. Place the one above you, sweet Sadie. Oh, let me just, living in the past, just try one more time. And I say, and though we were very poor, she tried to love us that much more. Have you met Sadie? On one of the premier ladies, sometimes so alone, but I know I gotta go. That's what she wanted for me. I know it's going to be hard sometimes. Oh, Sadie, Lord, although my mama's no longer here, her memory still lingers on. Just let me run, let me run, let me go. Sadie, don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? It's a mean world without you. Why you want to make me feel so bad? Place the one above you, sweet Sadie. Well. This feeling won't let me be living in the past. I'm going to keep on moving. I'm going to try to keep on growing. Sadie Mae. And again, that's Sadie from the Spinners, lead singer Felipe Wayne, putting all those ad-libs in there and just sort of stretching the song out. But, Ron, it's so funny because, when we get to these Mother's Days, and it's just so sad that many mothers have passed on, but again, the memory that we have for them, because again, our first teachers, the first people that taught us our manners, that taught us how to love. And so again, for those in the community, please, say a prayer for your mothers if they're here. If they're not here, please do that. And so, Ron, before we go into our Food for Thought segment, I just want to know if you want to add anything about Mother's Days.
And then be honest with you, I was having a moment, tell you the truth, because again, the spirituality and the motivational and the remembrance of those who are here and left, it's treasure. There's no price you can put on that. And you were saying something earlier, especially, I always love my mama.
Yeah, I always love my mama.
And I have written this a while back, and to show you how we mentioned before, how the spirit moves in such time and energy flows right into place.
Yes.
A mother's love is like the streams of water flowing and effortlessly, across time, with the flowers and the birds and the bees and all the love that one has to give. Yet, you never see or understand when mama crying that night, or auntie or grandparent or whatever cried at night. Begins still in the morning, like you just read with Sadie.
Yeah.
She always loved us.
That's right.
But then Sadie's and mothers and everybody else was in the community, no matter how you look at it. I have an aunt. Well, I had an aunt. I love her dearly. Aunt Minnie, my cousin lived in New York. She didn't care who your mother was or your parent. She tell you, go get that switch. my mother would stay right there, look.
That's that street justice.
Go get that switch, boy. But the power of love, as we was reading and talk about the power of love, the power of a mother, a aunt, a sister, a daughter, whatever the case, even the one we had a while back, calling him father.
That's right, call him father.
The love is powerful when you just embrace and share. Yes. And that's what this book, which I didn't know, I was just bringing it, but it ties into what we're talking about. And that's what's important. And even with grandma's hands, it didn't matter. But it was all positive. It was all based on a reason. And Brother Pierce and I and my brother here, we talked about it earlier. The importance of a community, the importance of this, all the things that was taught. Grandma's hand, come in and get that loaf of bread, go to the store, get this,
whatever.
whatever it was. But we learned we are here today because we have the story to learn, to tell you, to share with you, and we look for you to do the exact same thing.
That's right.
We don't give you negativity, and honestly, we're not looking for you to give it. But if it helps, heals, because again, every day is healing and health and wellness, just like you read from the book. And we continue. We can inspire and spark something positive if we don't share something positive, but we look for you to come to us and say, look, I'm hurting.
Yeah.
We may not act like counselors or whatever, but everybody is a soul healer through health and wellness, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, and again, and this book is no substitute for a doctor. Okay, go to your doctor, take your medication, whatever you need to do. Okay, all this is getting your mind right for a transformation. Because I do believe that we'll get through what we're going through, but we might have to be a different type of person. Again, the last time we had Ali Marshall Rico in, and she read some of her poetry, and she talked about the Nguza Saba, which is the 7 principles. And in her book, she has poems based on the 7 principles. And I suggested, just in our conversation, that, there are 7 principles, there's 7 days in a week, and maybe what we could do is celebrate a principle every day. And so what I want to do, I just want to quickly go through the 7 principles, and then I'm just going to briefly break them down. But again, the 7 principles of the Nguza Saba, again, when we celebrate Kwanzaa, we go over these principles. Number 1 is umoja, Swahili for unity. Number 2, kujitegemea, self-determination. Number 3, umoja, collective work and responsibility. Number 4, ujamaa, cooperative economics. Number 5, nia, purpose. Number 6, kuumba, creativity. And number 7 is imani, faith. And what I would suggest that you do, you can put this up on your refrigerator door or tack it to the mirror in your bedroom. And what I would suggest, and it's just a suggestion, but I want you to focus your mind. I want you to focus your attention on good things. And so what I would suggest is that you look at the week, Monday through Sunday. And Monday is unity. What can you do in your small world, in your small way, to show unity? Tuesday, self-determination. Okay, we achieve things because we determined to do those things for ourselves, and hopefully those things will help others. Wednesday, collective work and responsibility, working together in a collective way. Responsibility, if it's your responsibility to do this, and you have to do it, okay? Collective work and responsibility, that's Wednesday. Thursday, cooperative economics. Many times to do something, we have to put our monies together to get the desired effect, cooperative economics. Friday, purpose. We talked about purpose before. What is your reason for living if you get up in the morning, okay? How do you move through this world in purpose? Saturday is creativity. That's the principle for Saturday. And Sunday is faith, okay? How do you practice your faith? How do you project your faith? Again, you don't have to spend a lot of time with a person to find out where they're coming from. And a lot of times it's based on their principles. And principles are not suggestions. Principles are things that you do that really builds your character. So again, looking at the 7 days of the week, Monday, unity. Tuesday, self-determination. Wednesday, collective work and responsibility. Thursday, cooperative economics. Friday, purpose. Saturday, creativity. And Sunday, faith. Our engineer today is a brother named Pierre. And my community, I don't see you coming up on my screen, but again, know that if I don't talk to you during this program, I will definitely respond to you afterwards. But again, we thank you for watching. We thank you for tuning in. And so, Ron, what do you think about these 7 principles? Are these doable things? Are they things that we can do, or are they just something like pie in the sky that just so high-minded that we can't achieve this?
No, everything you said is on point, except for those. The only way something cannot be achieved is the fact that you just find everything to find excuse to justify doing nothing. And let me say this before I go on right quick.
Yeah, please.
And I just wrote this down because pain feels no pain. But how many people talk to pain? Oh. Now, you can talk to pain to get rid of it, or you talk to pain to death. And pain wakes up and says, why are you screaming and hollering at me? I ain't doing but just doing my job.
Exactly. It's being my pain.
And so here, pain feels no pain, yet people talk pain to death. I mean, people talk pain to life. So it stays with you. But the book and everything you said, even with the 7 principles, is about here, as I said, what are the leading causes of life? A prescription for living your highest and best. The 7th principle is to help us each and every day collectively in the community. Talk to somebody. And like you said, take one each day and fulfill it, cultivate it, practice it over and over and over again till it becomes part of who you are. So even when you're walking down the street, you might say, who you Yama, or somebody, or whatever the case may be. The bottom line is, and I'm saying this in a joking way, but I'm serious about it. You know, forget if I pronounce it wrong, but the point is, you know what I'm saying.
That's right.
It's about bringing health and wellness. This is what we talk about, health and wellness.
That's right.
We can't bring you books and books for lit and songs and this and that unless you pay attention to the lyrics of it, to the message. Everything is poetry. Fiction, whatever title you want to give it, it's real.
That's right.
But it's only death when you hide it and keep it to yourself. Because, again, when you hold pain, pain will hold you hostage.
That's right. That's right.
But the only one that's free is pain, because pain, once you gone and you down whatever, pain, you serve pain no purpose.
That's right.
It goes someplace else.
It does. And my other thing is that, you know, I mean, we all have some kind of pain, but, you know, you want to turn that pain into power. You want to take that anxiety and make that energy, okay, because that's what's going to help us through our days. I always say that, you know, you have to have a purpose in life. There has to be a reason for you to get up in the morning, okay? Because, again, I know a lot of people who don't do that. And the thing is that we find a lot of people, and the thing about death and about dying, it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it takes a long time. You see a person withdrawing from family and friends and getting into their pain and their illness to the point that's what's going to take them out, you know? And so again, when we speak to you this way, we give you food for thought. This is food for your mind, for your body, for your spirit, for your emotional, for the even the chemical. They say that, you know, when we go through trauma, you know, we're going to have some programs later on in this month where we talk about trauma. You know, people talk about PTSD, post-traumatic syndrome, but also there is a post-traumatic growth, okay? How you grow beyond the trauma. And a lot, we're not psychiatrists, we're not medical doctors, we're not giving you any advice from a professional standpoint. All we're saying to you is that these are some of the things that work for us. You know, we've been blessed to have some longevity and some life, and longevity doesn't always mean wisdom, because you're going to have to work at that. You just don't become smart because you get older. You know, they say there's no fool like an old fool, and that's true. Because if you don't learn from your past experience and also mistakes, but I don't know about you, Ron, but I tell you, I learn more from other people's mistakes. You know, I see what they do with their life, and I say, you know what? I'm not going to do that because I don't want to have that income. So I don't have to go on drugs and smoke and drink and just act crazy, because I see people who smoke and drink and act crazy, and I've lived long enough to see what the end of that will be. Okay, you can start these things in your youth and your teenage years and whatnot, and you continue to that, and what happens, it breaks your body down. And that's why many of us, as we get into our latest years in our 50s and 60s and our 70s, a lot of those bad habits catch up with you. Okay? And so again, my whole thing, Ron, is again, the sooner you turn your life around, the better for you. It's never too late to do the right thing, especially when it comes to your body, to start eating right, to start exercising, start doing the thing that's going to give you not just longevity, because again, I don't want to have longevity if I'm not well. Okay, I don't want to be here 60, 70, 80, or 90 and I'm not well. So again, for me, it's not just a longevity, but it's also the quality of life and the quality of living. You know, and that's why, you know, that book that he shared with us was that Lessons in Love.
Right.
Well, I think it's all about love, you know, and really, it comes back to you, the individual. Okay, do you love yourself enough to take care of yourself? Okay, because if you don't love yourself enough, you're going to neglect yourself. You're going to neglect your health. You're going to neglect the things that you need to do to help yourself. Because you don't love yourself. And I know sometimes because we made mistakes in our lives and whatnot, and some of us feel we're not worthy of forgiveness. We're not worthy of that. But again, you have to forgive yourself.
And you know, what's interesting is that here's the negative mindset. Now, y'all looking at us at them two old men and this and that. No, I want you to know we ain't old. We young.
We're young, right?
Because actually we in our 20s. Because I want you to understand
Believe it or
one
not.
thing. You see, this gray hair doesn't say we're old.
It's cosmetic.
See, in the Bible and Proverbs, I forgot what I was, gray hair represent wisdom and knowledge. See, we are seasoned people. Yes. We have wisdom and knowledge. We don't have it all, but we're here to share with you.
That's right.
So those who have not reached this platform, you have to learn something as we teach you something, because where you at today, we're learning from you, because things change. Nothing stays the same, but it changes, and that's what's important. And let me read this one thing, too, that ties into what you've just been saying.
Please, yeah.
You know, I wish to feel the rhythm of my soul and dance to its music. That's what this is all
That's
about.
Right, yes.
Everyone should have the look of one in love. Oh, baby, you just don't know, man. I love you. That's what's important. At least look like you're in love. That is a time when you feel at your best and act most beautiful, both inside and out. It is an empowering force that illuminates the body and wakens the human spirit. This is what you're saying.
That's right.
This is what you're saying.
It's
Live your life
spirit.
at its best.
That's right.
We're healthy. We're trying to do. We're not sitting here talking about woe's me. We're letting you know we have the energy.
That's right.
So don't get it twisted.
Don't get it
These
twisted.
ain't two old men. No, these are two wise young brothers.
Seasoned veterans.
Brothers, young. No matter how you look at it.
Full of life, man. And it's so funny because again, I always I tell my son, I said, we can't stop the aging process, okay? But we can make a decision about being old, because old for me is someone who has stopped growing. So I will never stop growing. I will never stop my curiosity. So that's why I'm always reading a book, whether it be a fiction book or a nonfiction. I'm looking at this documentary or this program and whatnot, because again, I'm eager. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty for life. I'm thirsty for new experiences. I want to meet new people. I want to go into different discussions and that kind of thing. Because again, as long as I'm living life, I want to keep on doing it. I mean, I tell you, bro, I'm a rock until the wheels fall off, you know, because I love this life, and I love it even more when I can control what I ingest, whether it be a book, whether it be good food. And also in the book he talks about sleep. You know, a lot of times we take sleep for granted, but sleep is important. You know, and then just briefly, just a few words here. It says, sleep long and deeply. Sleep might be the most underrated part of the day for many. The attitude that if extra time is needed to accomplish things throughout the day, you can just borrow from your sleep hours is ill-advised. Imagine driving your car on a 10-hour trip. Then once you reach your destination, you park it, and instead of turning off the engine, you keep it running overnight. That's effectively what you're doing when you're up all day tending to life's activities. Then you go to sleep for just a few hours and get back up and into the busy fray of life again. Your body's engine needs rest and time to restore. Numerous studies have looked at the impact of poor sleep on health and found that not only can we cause problems while learning, focusing, and reacting, but sleep deprivation can put you at risk for cardiovascular disease and early death. What's the magic sleep number? Question. There's no universal consensus, but most sleep experts believe that at least 7 hours per night. People living in the blue zones are typically getting 8 to 10 hours, and in some places, afternoon naps are a regular part of the day. Adequate sleep is not a luxury, but a necessity for good health. So again, if you can, get that 8 hours, but again, napping is okay, but don't nap too long because then you defeat the purpose. Okay?
While you was reading it, it came back to mind. When I was working at Lucent Technology, there was a sister, and I'm quite sure there's a lot, but this sister, she was raising her nephew because her sister had passed away. But anyway, she would take her 2 weeks vacation, and I would say, Mary, what you doing on vacation? I slept. Do you know the best enjoyment of her vacation? When she took her son to school at 8 o'clock in the morning, she would sleep until it was time to pick up. That was every single day for 2 weeks. That was her vacation. She said, Ron, I just love it.
Well, she was a champion sleeper, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, but you know what? And not to take anything away from that person, because there's a lot of people get their quality sleep. They go to bed at 8 o'clock and wake up at 6 or 7. Right. Yeah, I'm be honest with you. I'm always waking up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, but here's on a serious note, too.
Yes, please.
And I really seriously want everyone to keep this in mind. We talk about Mother's Day. We talk about mother. We talk about the health and wellness.
Yeah, yes.
If nothing else, think about the kids who bring joy or a smile, those who cannot help themselves, those who are in St. Jude's or the Shriners Hospital or any other care,
please,
whatever.
Think about those kids.
Those kids who are on the streets or whatever case be, or in some kind of unfortunate environment. Think of the kids, because kids cannot reach where you are if you choose not to help them and reach them.
That's right. Because
again, it's not about us today. It's about us reaching back to help somebody so they can pass on to the future. And think about the seasoned seniors who's in the nursing home or home, or not so much lonely, but alone, thinking and writing. So the bottom line is, even in our conversation, our present platform that we talk about health and wellness and poetry, it's health and wellness. Even the books you read and the book we present to you or love, it's about humanity across the board. Humanity. Think of love. How can I love? Smile and dance. Somebody might think I'm crazy, but if I get out there and dance and do this and that, I'm showing that I'm enjoying myself because I love me, but I want to spread that love to you. And that's what it's all about. And it goes back to the 7 principles.
Yes. And again, just to repeat what we were saying today. Again, it's about optimum wellness, the highest level of wellness. And again, we come to you on Thursday from 6 to 7 and Sunday from 5 to 6, poetically speaking. But the thing is that we want you to understand that we're not doctors, we're not psychiatrists or anything like that. We're just 2 men who have lived life, and we want to share what we have. And so we have about maybe 5 minutes to wrap things up. But again, thank you. I'm sorry we couldn't talk to you this evening, but we'll make up for that. But Ron, you want to take these few minutes?
Yeah, let me take a minute or 2 minutes, because this is also important. As you indicated, we may not, according to earthly realm, of having the degree or title that says, well, now you can teach or counsel. But human nature, our mothers, as we talked about, didn't have an education. They couldn't go to school, but they knew the herbs and spices to give us. Each and every single person, regardless of what jurisdiction or background religion you practice, the Spirit of God, everybody who believes in the Spirit of God has given us the wisdom, knowledge, and the power to help somebody, to heal somebody. So again, earth is one thing, but the power of the universe comes from God. If God gives you the power to heal that child, even through love, because 1 Corinthians 1 through 11 says, you may have the gift of many, but if you have not love, you have not done anything. And the second commandment said, love your neighbor as you love me. Who is my neighbor? He said, look around.
That's right. Yeah.
Somebody you pass on the street. Love somebody, but it starts with you. Cultivate your health and wellness so you can spread it to somebody else, because we are here to help you. But you have to help us to help you to help us so we can help others.
On that note, I say love each other and love yourself. This has been Poetically Speaking with Terry and Ron, and we'll catch you next time.